What's going on with that crude oil price? Have things calmed down? Where is it heading next? Well, let's take a look at the analysis to find out. Straight into some fundamentals then, and the rig count numbers. US line I like to focus on. Change from the prior count plus 16 and change from last year plus 257. So still looking pretty bullish there. For those that follow US crude oil inventories, no discerning patterns really in the weekly numbers. This week's forecast 1.367 million barrels. Last week's actuals 2.421 million barrels, worse than expected. The numbers this week out Wednesday afternoon UK time. Some technical analysis, sentiment, seasonality at the bottom there. It's pretty flat at the moment. Picking up maybe into the later part of spring and heading on to the commitment to traders data, doing as expected actually. Price pulling off, as is the black line just below the price, which is the large speculators, and we'd expect the red line, which is the large commercials, to be doing the inverse. So all a bit bearish there and neutral, we could say, for seasonality at the moment. Into the technical analysis then, our weekly line chart, and I'll put on the 2 standard deviation regression bands around the price just to show you that recent run up just moved outside the 2 standard deviations top and has just pulled back to the mean, where, you know, in a trend like it has been since mid 2020, early 2020, then it's as expected really. Now if the price does pull back further, then expect the bottom of those bands as some sort of support, and then down to that Fibonacci line around about the $80 and into that yellow shaded area, which is a lot of price noise action. To the upside, well, it's going to need something to shift it back up above 120 now, maybe something majorly fundamental, and then next upside after that 135, 137. If you are bullish, WTI 4-line break chart gives us a couple of numbers. More aggressive one at $103.50 and more conservative one getting back towards those highs around $120. So some numbers for there to think about. Daily high cash chart shows weakness in the current price. The signals down the bottom both bearish. Volatility's fallen from its average around 66%, not its high, so it was nearly 100%, down to the mid 40%, and volume less than its longer term moving average. And in terms of price action, now after that pullback outside of the 2 standard deviation regression bands, slap bang in the middle of the mean and trending up as it should, so pretty neutral there as well. For the Renko chart, I'm using a $1 block size. The signals are mixed at the moment. Trends bearish, the 2 shorter term indicators a bit more bullish, so neutralizing each other. Onto the price, you can see that run up from 2022 beginning of, and then the pullback that we've seen from $130 down into the late 90s, just bouncing back now around the sort of 100 number, and the shady coloured areas in the bubbles, potential upside and downside targets. We've got to the downside, sort of 90, 80, 70 areas, and to the upside, if it can get back through quite a lot of price noise, then 115 and the late 120s. So in terms of a score for WTI Crude Oil, I'm going neutral this week. Now the shorter term is a bit more bearish feel, but that longer term trend still in place there. It just accelerated away and has pulled back to where, you know, we'd expect it to be. Now top right, seasonality, inventories neutral, rig count bullish, cot bearish, so it's all mixed bag really. Line break gives you some bullish entry points. High Kanashi chart, Renko chart, pretty neutral, and any positive negatives sort of neutralizing themselves out. And in terms of targets, upside 1.92 and 4.23 to 1, and downside 1.75 and 3 to 1. But overall this week for WTI Crude Oil, a neutral score. So to me it looks like WTI Crude Oil is just sort of taking a breather, and working out where it's going to push on to next, whether that's bullish or bearish. You've now got some numbers to focus on in either direction from the charts. Let me know in those comments below where you think crude oil is heading next. What do you think is going to make it more bullish or more bearish? Love to hear those thoughts. And if you liked today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell buttons. And all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching, good luck with the trading, and I'll see you in the next video.